There's handouts up in the front if you didn't get a handout when you came in. Thank you all for coming to our 2024 budget kind of kickoff. My name is John Murphy, County Auditor. I think I know everybody in the room, maybe one or two that I don't know, so thanks for coming. We're going to do this presentation in three parts. Katie Bishop, Finance Director, is going to kick off with the Lao budget entry. So you have been here a couple years. It's the same program, so you're pretty familiar with it, but maybe some newer people, this would be helpful to you. And then Abby Doyle, the new Chief Deputy Auditor, will be talking about the revenue summary, which is an Excel document that we need you to update, and then also a fund department summary report. We're switching out quite a bit from what we did last year. Last year we had a budget presentation memo, and that's being eliminated. But we'll go through the new reports. We think that they're improved over prior years. And then I'll conclude with the budget summary, which is brand new. It's a summary of revenue, expenditures, and cash, and we'll go through that. And then I'll also discuss the personnel count. We've done this in the past. It's a summary of your full-time positions, and you're pretty familiar with that. So why don't I start off and allow Katie Bishop to kick us off. Thanks.
Is it going to come back up?
What's that?
Just wiggle the cord, see if that helps. Okay, we might just be going off of your sheets. Wait.
No, I mean, you can start. I didn't touch anything. What's going on?
You should have some of these reports in your instructions, but you can follow along with Katie.
But then there's people on Zoom. I don't know if you want to.
Oh.
Are there? Okay. Well, we'll just go off of, I guess, the forms that everything I'm going to go over is on the packet that you guys could pick up at the front. So for the Lao budget entry, those of you who have been here, like you said, have done it before, and those who have not, it's pretty easy. And if you do have any questions, anybody at any time, you can contact us and we can walk you through it too. Okay. This portion of it is due by June 16th, which is a Friday. And we're going to put in for the request for 2024 requests. And any questions you have regarding budget, if you can please email the budget@sjcindiana.com and not specifically to Abby, John, or I. That way we can all receive the email if someone's not here. And if you need access to any accounts, that's where you would email us as well. There are a few funds that are not budgeted, and you have to have a state statute for that. So if you're not sure, go ahead and let us know. But most of them are budgeted accounts. And for capital leases, including like car leases, copier leases, we need to have 2 accounts, one for the interest and one for the principal. And then this year, something that is new, when we're budgeting any employees that are budgeted, we are also including FICA, PERF, and health insurance and liability allocations for that. So some budgets had that previously, but now this year, every single budget will have those for any employees. There's a list down here of how much everything should be, and if you have questions, let us know about that. That will not count against your total increases if you don't previously have it. And for the increases this year, personnel costs, we're looking for a 3% total increase in that. And other costs, so your supplies, your services, your capital, all of that would be a 4% total increase. So I'm just going to show you how to enter it into Lao then. You guys all have access to the budget module. If you have financial, at the very bottom, there's a little icon at the very bottom of your financial, and you can hit budget module, and it'll take you right to it if you don't see that on your computer screen. To log in, you just use your same username and password. It's the same as financial. And so to begin with, you're going to go up to, at the very top, you're going to go to the data column, and then you're going to go budget line items by department. And then if you can change the view. If you go to the little views tab and then you go to the second one, it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to enter. You can enter it in the default or in the department budget area, but the department budget is easier to filter through. And then something that's not on your notes, you'll want to go to that location. It's hard not being up. Under location, there's a little like down arrow or funnel cloud, and you'll want to select your location if you're in the general fund. That slide is not in here. I'll send something out as a reminder if people would like. If you're not in the general fund, it's fine, but if you're in the general fund, you're going to see everybody's stuff probably. And then you're entering for the requested budget of 2024 line. You'll put in your amounts. Oh, well, that's, sorry. You'll put in your amounts, and then in the little notes tab next to it, we want very specific notes for everybody. So if you have salaries, and you have like a grouping of salaries, this many people at $16,000, this many people at $2,000, we just need specifics, not a range for salaries. And then why, if they're having a bigger increase, you have to note that. For capital accounts, you want to put what you're purchasing. If it's for a copier or if it's for car leases, please be specific in that note section, right? This is very hard to see. This column is the notes section, so you want to make sure everything has notes. If there's a major difference, explain the differences. If someone's salary is more, explain they have more duties, or if your costs have gone up in previous years, explain why that increase is going up because of a 5% increase in whatever costs if you have contracts. And then you can verify your total amount that you have put in your budget. If you scroll down to the end of that, you can see it down at the end of that page. It's in green. It'll tell you the total amount that you're asking for the requested year of 2024. And then this is just saying if you want to correct a certain line, you can go back up and enter that. You don't have to just use the up and down arrows either. You can click in wherever you want. Once your budget is completed, or you feel like it's completed, we'll want you to print that off. There's two options in order to print that. You can print it in where you've just entered everything with the little print icon. Up at the top, it does not look like your normal budget would if you're looking in the budget book. The way that we recommend you print them off is to do this report over here. And you would, over here, you're going to go, sorry, I can't see it very well either. You're just going to go to reports, and then the fourth option is location, account, and object. Choose that option, and then this screen will come up. You do have to input some of the information. So for you'd put in the years, prior year, the current year, and then the the requested year. And then for budget options, you're going to want to put requested. And if you look on here, it shows on here. You're going to hit no for the current year. Include the current, sorry, I can't even read this. Include the current year notes. Don't you want them to hit the?
Yeah, we did, we want them to
Yeah,
include
so
the
I don't know why
notes.
this says
Yeah.
no. You'll want to include your current year notes. So just hit yes on those. And then everything that you guys want to print off your report should be on the right side. So you would move all of that over onto this side. And if that's very confusing, just contact us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now Abby's going to talk about some of the forms that we're using this year. No, it's okay.
Okay, just some housekeeping. One thing that was mentioned is a new budget email, so I'm just gonna keep repeating it because we're gonna sound like IT when you email a specific person and you're gonna get a kickback saying, please submit a ticket. So anything budget related, this is also going for your Form A's, B's, C's, D's, journal entry adjustments. Please email budget@sjcindiana.com because now that we're kind of moving things around a little bit as to who's processing stuff, it can get lost in the sauce, so to speak. So not just for your 2024 budget, please email anything budget related to the budget@sjcindiana.com. So also, when you're finished with your LAO, putting all your numbers in there, please email that email address and let us know that you've completed that portion so then we can go in there and start doing our work on that, okay? Any questions on the email? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a shared drive that we're gonna be sending a link out to everybody at the end of this. It's our budget shared drive. It's gonna have all these brand new budget forms, which is really a part of the new experience for 2024 budget. In there, you're gonna see a revenue summary, and that's part of one of the tasks that each department has to go in and do. It's pretty difficult to see up here, obviously, but in your instruction packet, you have this screenshot. You're only going to want to highlight the column that is yellow, and that pertains to your department or location, okay? So please don't take the initiative to update somebody else's. Just focus on yours, and then once you're done, please highlight it, letting us know that you're done. Email us at budget@sjcindiana, and then we're good to go on that. Save it, please. Don't save as. Don't make a new copy. Just go in, save, and exit. Any questions on the revenue summary? Okay. All right, and then we have our fund department summary. So I'm gonna pull that up. This is our budget shared drive that you guys will have access to. We have created numerous folders for everybody. If you have a fund that is shared with multiple departments, we did not put it in a folder to make it more visible for people. But if your department has multiple funds, then we just went ahead and put it all in one folder. So like Auditor, if they have multiple funds, we went ahead and put it in one folder for you guys, or for us, for that matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up an example that John created for us. And I'm just gonna talk about this first page here. This is really new. It doesn't have to be scary. These are the steps that we would like to take for our county to receive an award for our budget for GFOA. So Everybody's participation is really helpful in this. The first part of this is the fund department description and purpose. We don't need anything super lengthy, just something short, brief, to the point, making it clear what your department does, okay? 2023 accomplishments. What did your department accomplish? Okay, list about 1 to 10 in bullet points. Let's not make it a huge narrative. We don't want a fairy tale. We don't want a storybook. So just keep it brief. Same goes for the 2024 goals. This is a really good opportunity with these budget forms. We're going to start projecting into the future, and John will get into that. We really want to start forecasting what this county is going to be able to provide and where we're going to go, where we're going to lead. So 2024 is just a great starting point, how you guys can bullet those out. And key performance indicators, those are KPIs. So list 1 to 7 of those. And in your instruction packet, they list some examples. They can be workload related, efficiency related. There's also a sheet in those packets that are out there with really great examples on how to find out what your KPIs are. Also, not just in paper copy, everything that is in your packets here is in the budget shared drive so that you can easily locate it, discuss it with your team. Moving down to this last one is the 2024 significant changes, challenges, opportunities. And so go ahead, do a paragraph briefly describing any significant changes or challenges that impact the operation of the activities for your department. Please avoid abbreviations and acronyms. Many people don't know what those stand for. Sure, you can go ahead and write out the whole title of something and then do your acronym in parentheses, and then moving forward, you can do the acronym moving forward, but really try to spell that out if you're using it. And customary grammatical rules apply here, please. Please save this document. Do not save as, do not make a copy of your own and put it in here. Just easily go in, save it, exit it, and when you're done, please just email budget@sjcindiana.com, letting us know that you've completed your entire budget form when you're done. Any questions on just this first page of the budget form? Pardon me? So the budget forms are due on June 26th by noon. The email address is budget@sjcindiana.com. All right. And so John's going to go over the budget summary. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to pass it off to him. I think so.
This is the new part that may take a little bit of getting used to, but this is kind of a tried and true form that I use for the city of South Bend, which received numerous budget awards, and prior to that for Cass County, Michigan, back about 20 years ago. And so what it seeks to accomplish, everything in yellow on the form is what the auditor's office has completed or will finish completing. Anything in light blue is what the department is asked to update, prepare. And what this attempts to do, the overall idea here is we have an annual budget, sure, that's great. And in Indiana, you just budget 1 year at a time. But we also need to be thinking about 4 or 5 years down the road. So that's what this budget does in the forecasting columns. You'll see we have the 2024 budget, then 2025 through 2028 projected. It's not a budget. It's not going to the state. They're not going to look it over. But we'd like to know get a handle on where this fund or department is going into the future. This is something the council members have asked for, and so this is something we want to do. In addition to that, we have an operating 5-year summary going forward. In addition, on this form down at the bottom, we have a capital 5-year summary going forward, and that's very important as well. So, just working through the forms. We'll see the 2021 actual, 2022. Those have been updated, and I think we're done with 2023 budget. We will fill in the June 30, 2023 numbers. You don't have to do that. We can't do that until obviously after June closes, so we'll do that sometime in early July. So that's not on you to complete. But what we'd like you to do is start with your 2024, keeping in mind those budget instructions that you were giving, the 3% payroll, personnel, 4% other costs, guidelines, rules, keeping in mind those, and then budgeting out going into the future. And then I always get a question of what should I budget going into the future, and that's a difficult one. But I would say this, at this point in time, I think I would use 3% for property tax revenue if you receive property taxes in your fund, 3% for lit, local income tax, probably 3% for salary, and 3% for benefits. It's kind of a mid-range. Some projections are higher than that, some are lower than that. But I think that's fair to say those are what I would use. For your other revenue expenditures, you're going to have to do that on a case-by-case basis. You're going to really have to look at what your trends have been the last 3 to 5 years. Just plot them out and see what's the logical amount to enter for like 2025. So if your revenues, like innkeeper tax, hotel motel tax, has been increasing faster than 3%. That's more like a 6-7% increase per year. So we're going to be doing that projection, so we would go out more at a higher rate than a normal revenue. But if your revenue is flatline, maybe you have certain fees that have not been changed or can't be changed, you might want to have more of a flatline revenue projection. Expenditures will, in health insurance, I also indicated that's about 3% as well. We're self-funded, so that can go up and down, but lately our experience has been pretty good in the health insurance area. So, getting to the form, down in the middle of the form is the cash balances. That's kind of the key to the budgeting. It's really hard to see, but that's the key. If you're a separate fund, you have to live within your means. The general fund departments, they're different. You're not going to have to worry about revenue on this form or cash on this form. We'll take care of that separately as for the general fund, consolidating all of your individual amounts. But for funds, we want to keep within certain ranges. And the county council and commissioners about 2 years ago set certain set cash reserve targets for certain funds. Not every fund has a target. If it's a grant fund, your target is mainly just to end the grant with zero money. You want to get reimbursed for all your grant expenditures. But certain funds, like the general fund, target is 20%. We may increase that to 25%. Certain other funds have targets. So if there is a cash reserve target, it's indicated on here. So when we're discussing this with the county council and commissioners, we can kind of explain to them, hey, are we in line with our target, or are we below our target, or what's going on with that? So that's that part of the form. So I want to show you the capital part down here. Okay, this is new. Capital budgeting. You know, that's something that we have a lot of discussion of capital, but we don't do a formal capital budget. But now we will be doing a formal capital budget. We're breaking it out into 2 parts. There's 2 types of capital, at least in my mind or our mind. Replacement capital, that's like a vehicle replacement. You replace the vehicle every 5 years or something if you're a police department. Or a copier, you replace that periodically. Or project capital, which could be like an office renovation, a new road, a new building perhaps. You know, there's capital projects. So we're interested in what the projection is for those. Both the historical information, which we've completed, and going forward, if there are any capital requests from the department. So we're trying to combine all of these different things onto one form, and we think that it will work. We haven't tried it out here yet, so we're hopeful. And so that's basically the budget summary. Any questions on the budget summary right now that you have come to mind? Oh, go ahead.
So if you don't have a capital budget per se, you can still put stuff in there like what you're projecting out you might need in the next 5 years?
You mean if you're not going to purchase the capital out of that fund, don't put it on this fund, don't put it on this report. Contact us and we'll try to include it maybe in a lit fund or something like that. But what's that? Is that Steve? Yeah.
We really don't have a fund to take the capital out of.
Right. So what you'll want to do is contact us and we can try to work and find a place for that in some other fund. Just capital budget is just for this fund, for your fund. That's what you'd want to include here. That doesn't preclude you from asking for capital in another way, and we'd have to try to figure out how to pay for that. Either it's going to be a bond or it's going to be cash reserves in another fund and so forth. So actually the capital total actually automatically populates the operating budget here on this form. It's a formula, so we really want to emphasize on the capital fund purchasing, so forth. So how that's worked. That's a good question, though, Steve. Any other questions so far? And don't get too whipped up about the projections. It's a projection. It's not binding. We may end up changing it, in December or something. It can be changed at any time. But it's a good forecast. It's a good management tool. We've been asked by a number of council members to do this. Any other questions? If not, why don't we go to the personnel summary sheet? This one is pretty familiar to what you already have been doing, those of you who have been with the county. We have the auditor's office is going to complete the historical information. Your department is going to complete the budget year information. And so that's how far we take it. If you do notice something in the yellow that is incorrect, we've tried to work over the years, make sure everything is correct, and these are your numbers predominantly. Let us know, and then we can fix the historical information in the yellow. It's primarily full-time employees. Some departments have, like the council, they're all part-time, so we include 9 in there. But generally speaking, it's full-time employees. So if you're a Parks Department, don't worry about the including all of the summer help or so forth. And so I think many of you are familiar with this. You want to also explain any differences or new employees between the 2023 amended. So if there's been an amendment to the budget, include that in the 2023 versus the 2024 proposed. If there's a new employee, you want to mention that in the text box so that we can highlight that for council so they can consider it and weigh whether they want to approve that. But you've done this form many times, so any questions on the personnel summary sheet? It's only a half hour in, so that's good. Other than that, I don't have any further content to share. We're trying this new budget method. It's been used successfully before. It is based on what other governments are doing around the country. Katie and I went to the GFOA conference in Portland. A lot of them are doing something very similar to this. It's quite a bit of work for us and for you. We realize that. But I think the end product will be even better than our current budget book, which is it's not bad, but this can be better. And so we're going to do this and move forward. Any questions from any of the presentations that you've heard? Everybody understands the deadlines of June 16th for Lao, and then June 26th for your forms. And we know that's an aggressive timeline, but we have a lot of work to do to get ready for council meetings, which start in probably early to mid-July. So there's quite a bit of work to get done. So these will be the primary documents that we give to council when they're making deliberating your budgets. So, and it's also going to be, these are going to be published. So, that's why kind of the grammatical part, that's important because these are going to become public documents at some point. Any other questions? You guys have anything else to share, Abby or Katie?
No, just expect an email with the shared drive link. You can create a shortcut so it's directly on your desktop, so you can access that easy. But other than that, if you have any questions, just email that email address. And if you get stuck, then we can, Katie, myself, John, we can set up times to meet with you guys, go over anything. If you guys want to get really into the weeds for your projections, I love doing that. So, so I'm happy to do that. So reach out to us. We're here.
All right. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.